Hi, this is a continuation of the movie I did for you about understanding guitar chords. Now, one of my beefs in the worlds of guitar publications is the guitar chord dictionary, because what they will give you is every conceivable chord in, for example, the key of C. So you'll get C, C ninth, C 13 flat 9, C 7 with a major fifth, C major 7, C minor with a major 7th. You would never see these chords in a chord progression or a song one after the other. So in a way, it's a useless way of learning chords to learn every single chord in a particular key. Much more useful is to learn how to connect chords together, because those are the changes you're going to be faced with in real life. So let's take, for example, we're staying in the key of C. What you need to do is play a chord on each of the steps of the key of C, and you can do that by counting alphabet on your hand: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So the major chords are going to occur on C, F, and G. The other chords are going to be minors, so C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor. When it comes to B, the B chord is what we call a half diminished chord. Don't worry about the name. That's the shape for it. If you can see that a bit more clearly, you've got a B, an F, an A, and a D. It looks like a diminished chord that you'd find on the top 4 strings, but it's an inside chord. Okay, so that's the shape: B, F, A, and D. Okay, so if you play those chords in that sequence: C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, C. So that's the way you need to learn chords going from key to key, so you can do it in every single key. Obviously there we're using open strings, so the first thing to do is to use bar shapes which don't use open strings. That way you can change the key from one key to another. So C, for example, would be C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B, half diminished, back to C again. So how do we elaborate that? How can we make those chords more attractive? So the first thing you can do is change all the major chords for major 7th chords by adding the major 7th note to the chord, which I explained on the last video. And then we can also add the minor 7th chord to the minor chord. So C becomes C major 7. We just change the shape. And the minor chord becomes a minor 7th just by removing one finger or adding a finger up there. So let's see how that sounds. So already you've got a pretty sounding chord sequence. So let's look at how that harmony can be strengthened and embellished, and you can have some connecting chords. One of the most common ways of doing this is to have a diminished chord, rather than having, at the moment we're moving up in scale steps. We can connect those scale steps with a semitone between each of those steps, and on the semitone connecting note we build a diminished chord. So that sounds like this: C, C sharp diminished, D minor 7, E flat diminished, E minor, F major 7. Okay, that's for the first 4 chords. So instead of, you have so it makes it more attractive. You've intelligently created some extra chords there to knit the other chords together. So this is much more useful to you than learning a whole bunch of chords in just one key, but without any knowledge of how you would connect them together. So let's see what other moves we can put in there. We know we've got to move from the 5th step G to the 6th step A minor, so we can put a semitone link in there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually play an E chord, but it's an inversion of the E chord. Remember, any chord has got a root, 3rd and 5th, so we're going to put the 3rd in the root, and I'm also going to make it maybe a 7th, so we'll make it an E7th chord, put the G sharp in the root, so you get this G, and then back to the B diminished, half diminished, back to C again. So there we've got a nice sequence which goes. So that's all in the key of C. You can move it to another key. The pattern remains the same. E flat major 7, F minor 7, G minor 7, A flat major 7. Once you understand how you're connecting the chords, it becomes very easy to recognise those patterns as they occur in every song. So the lesson is, look at how chords are connected. Every chord is built on a step of the scale. They all form part of a chord family. So we saw that in the key of C you have C, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B half diminished and C. So every key has exactly the same relationship from one step of the scale to the next. So learn them like that. Learn how to connect chords in the same chord family, and you're going to make much more progress than learning a whole bunch of chords in just the one key as you would see laid out in a chord dictionary without any knowledge of how they're connected. Later on I can explain to you why certain chords are used that look very difficult, why you would have this chord for example, or some of those complex chords that you often find in jazz or standards. And you'll be amazed how simple it is to grasp the elementary theory behind this that will enable you to improvise and solo over all these changes without being confused. So I hope that helps, and till the next one, I'll see you.